Alright, I got a good friend of mine that's building a XS 650 Yamaha chopper. It's on a hardtail frame. It's old school style, and he wants me to paint it. And I'm gonna paint this thing what they call it, toxic green pearl. So this is what the tank looks like before we're getting started. Needs a lot of sanding work. And so that's what we're going to do. This is an old school coffin tank. And he had several tanks to choose from, but I told him, I was like, man, if you want an old school chopper, this is the tank to run, because you never see them. And so we're going to get this thing prepped for paint, and then we're going to get the frame from him. We're going to paint the tank, the frame, and the rear fender all the same color, and he's not running a front fender. So we're going to get this thing prepped for paint, and we'll show you more as we go. So I got my good friend's chopper tank here, and we got it all sanded down and ready for some high build primer. So we'll spray some high build on it, and same with this fender here, which this fender is an original I guess 30s model car spare tire cover. You can tell by the pitting, but I think the high build primer is going to cover that up. So we're going to put a few coats on it, like three good coats on it, and see how it does. Might sand it down and put some more coats on it, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, we got the first coat of high build on here, and I see there's a high right there. That looks like a run, but it's actually a weld. I don't want to grind on that because I don't want to make the tank leak. Put a couple more coats on here and then hit it with some paper and see what happens. And this here is showing some pitting pretty good, so probably gonna have to do some filler work, unfortunately. Didn't really want to, but I don't think I got any other choice. This side looks good. It's hard to say when you're sanding on stuff. It feels smooth, but you really don't know until you hit it with the first bit of one color, be it primer or whatever. Because when it's multicolored, it really don't show anything. Alright. Alright, so I got my friend's gas tank primed down. We're going to block it out and see what we can do about these couple of places that aren't quite right. It's hard to fix stuff like this, which is a high, but we'll see what we can do. It's got a little pitting, but that's not a big deal. We can fix pitting. But I want to tell you guys, I've kind of been jumping around here lately. Working on my son's car, which I got a clip or two of it, showing some issues with it. I'm working on this 68 K10, but I hurt my back a couple of weeks ago, so it's kind of slowed me down quite a bit. And I'm working on different kind of stuff, trying to keep from hurting it any worse than what it already is. So that's one reason why I haven't had a whole bunch of content, because I really hadn't been working on a whole bunch, because I've been hurting pretty bad. But feel like I'm getting a little better, so we will be starting to get on some stuff here pretty soon. But like I said, I don't know if you guys ever hurt your back before, but it's a hurting feeling, and it's you don't want to do anything to make it any worse than what it already is. So that's kind of why I hadn't been doing a bunch of videos. So I'll keep you updated as I go along, but it has been kind of a hodgepodge of what I've been working on because of being hurt and trying not to do too much strenuous stuff. So y'all hang tight with me, and I'll show you more as I get more done. Hopefully I'll be feeling better real soon and can get some things accomplished. So y'all hang tight. So I got this thing set up so that we can test this fuel pump out and make it run so we can get this thing cranked up. And she's running. I don't see any leaks. Hang on, let me get this thing set where it'll stay plugged in. And she's running. Still don't see any leaks, which is good. So let's see if we can get her to crank up now. Alright, let's see if we got any fire. I checked the fire, and it seemed like I hook a plug up remotely and turn the motor over, and it sparked, and then it quit. So I figured maybe it was a weak coil. So I hooked up a separate coil here, and it pretty much did the same thing. And so I called my son, and he said that when he was driving the car, he was having a problem with the computer. This car was originally a mass air computer that he rewired to speed density, and he repinned a later model PCM for it. And he said that one of the pins in the PCM was loose or something. So I'm gonna try to move all this moving stuff out of the floorboard here and see if I can get to the PCM. And this door handle doesn't open from the outside. Oh, there it is. And see if I can find out which pin in the PCM is loose. So we're going to try that and see what kind of luck we have. Since the axle tube diameters on the 67 to 72 or somewhere in there, I know 67 to 70 where the drum brake axles are. The axle tubes are actually a smaller diameter, so the U-bolts and the corresponding plates here are different sizes. Of course, the newer model square bodies, or the square bodies in general, have a sway bar mount on the shock plate or the spring plate. So this enables us to run a sway bar, which is a good thing. So we got a truck here. We've already started taking some of the U-bolt hardware off, and these are aftermarket U-bolts, I'm pretty sure, because they're so long. And it's creating an issue because I can't get a socket between here and the frame, so I have to jack this thing up and let the axle droop so I can get a socket on there. And then we'll get these sway bar mounts off too, so we can use the sway bar. But the main thing right now is getting the U-bolts and spring plates off so we can get the 68 back to a roller. So this side's bad, but the other side is even worse now. There's only one nut that you can easily get the socket on, and that's this rear one right here on the outside. This one, this bump stop's in the way, and the frame is on the back ones, and actually that's gonna be a bear because that is boogered up. What rubbed on the chassis bolt. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that yet. That pretty much stinks. That's gonna make things extremely difficult here. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's rubbed on this bolt right here. So I guess I'll get me a file, try to put a bevel on that so when it comes off it doesn't eat the threads out the nut. And actually, man, I don't know if I want to use these U-bolts or not. They got nut. They're so long. They got nuts spaced out between there. Oh, this thing was rigged up. At least need the spring plates though. We'll figure something out. No, hang tight. So we managed to get the U-bolts and the spring mount off of the passenger side. Usually I like to do the hard side first, but I was already done with this side basically before I realized how hard it was on the other side. So we're gonna move to the other side now, but that's what we were after. This plate here and those two U-bolts. So we're gonna carry on to the hard side now. Alright, so we got the sway bar unhooked. I don't know if I can get it out from underneath it. There we go. Got the sway bar out. Here you go. All your U-bolt, spring mounts, and sway bar all pulled off. Major pain in the behind, but we got them. So now clean them up and get ready to use them. Alright. Alright, so to give you guys an idea of how hard four-wheel drives get used, see if you can see how this tie rod right here that connects the pitman arm to the steering arm. See how bent that sucker is? That's just an example of how hard people run these four-wheel drives. Which we got a new one, so we ain't got to worry about that. but that's just one of the things that happens. They also tend to crack the frames behind the steering box there. But you don't know about this one because you can't see it. And I'm not too concerned about it because we're boring parts off this right now, but these are areas where these trucks get abused pretty daggone hard, so y'all beware.